There is nothing better than a good, tough workout. But there is nothing more frustrating than getting injured. Let me talk you through what to do when that happens. Hello fellow nerds, Coach Jim here, and just like I said, there is nothing more frustrating than getting injured, whether it's something that happens suddenly or a nagging injury that crept up on you. In this video, I'll talk you through 2 different things you need to do right now if you've been injured, 6 different ways to adjust your training, plus a whole bunch of different ideas, whether you've got pain in your shoulder, your lower back, your hips, your knees and toes. Just kidding, knees and ankles. Wherever you're hurting, let's figure out some adjustments so you can keep on moving. So the first thing to do after an injury is to seek out a professional. All the internet advice in the world is not going to take the place of a single session with a doctor or a physical therapist. Now, I know this is pretty obvious advice, but I absolutely have to start the video with it. The second thing to do right after an injury is to realize that you're going to be affected mentally just as much as you are physically. There are tons of studies showing the negative emotional reactions that we get after an injury. And again, from the school of the obvious, if you've ever been injured before, you know how it can put you in a bad mood. Have you ever felt this way? Type injury blues in the comments below. We all know we're gonna feel a bit off, so plan accordingly. That can be a matter of recognizing and reframing negative thoughts, or maybe you do some meditation or journaling, or maybe you even see a sports psychologist or therapist. Whatever you do, just make sure that you don't neglect the mental aspects of your recovery. All right, on to how to adjust your training. First thing, keep on moving any way that you can. Now, this is often the opposite of what a lot of people do, which is to completely stop using the injured area. We want to move pain-free, of course, but any sort of light movement can oftentimes be beneficial as it gets blood moving through the area and helps speed recovery. This might mean lowering the weight in the exercise or doing an assisted variation or even an unweighted variation. If there's some way you can move around and not cause any pain or setbacks, it's often a good idea to do so. All right, next thing to do is to roll and stretch around the problem area. It's very common just to focus on the site of the pain, but the body is a system. So many times muscles in the surrounding area can be tight and throwing things out of whack. For instance, maybe your lower back is hurting because your hips are tight from sitting at a desk all day. Or maybe your shoulder pain is related to the posture that you have at your computer. Your chest is a bit tight, your head is forward, all that can really contribute to how your shoulder moves. All right, third way to adjust your training is to work different angles. So if you're bench pressing and that hurts your shoulder, maybe try the decline press. That might feel a lot better. Or if you're doing an overhead press and that's not feeling good for the shoulders, maybe try some landmine pressing, which has you pressing at more of a 45-degree angle. If squatting hurts your knees, we can change the angle of the knees and maybe work some deadlifts and deadlift variations. And if deadlifts are hurting your back, maybe we change the angle there and do more squats and lunges and more things that are a little bit more upright. That way you can still work around the injured area without setting things off further. And the fourth way to adjust your training is to work different grips. Now, by changing your grip in an exercise, it actually puts different stress in different areas of the body. So this is a good thing to do even if you're not injured. Now, you can play around with grip width, going from narrow to wide or vice versa. You can even change grip orientation. So you can do pronated, which is palms facing away from you, change to supinated, which is palms facing towards you, or even do neutral grip, where palms are facing each other. All right, and the fifth way to adjust your training is to work different areas of the body. Now, this might sound obvious, but if you really can't find a pain-free variation for the injured area of your body, then just spend more time and energy on the rest of your body. So if your upper body is really hurt and can't do anything, work your lower body more. If your lower body is hurt and can't do anything, now's the time to spend on upper body exercises. This can also work with different movements too. So it might hurt to press, but you can still pull with no pain. Flip side, same thing. It might hurt to pull, but you can press with no pain. And lastly, on that same note, you can redirect some of that time and energy to nutrition and mindset. That time that you spend working out, it didn't just disappear. You can be using that time to get better at cooking or meal prep, or maybe work on your sleep or stress management. I know it's not going to be as fun as a workout, but it's going to be just as valuable for your fitness and recovery. All right, let's take some of these concepts and apply them to specific areas of the body. Now, this is definitely not an end-all be-all list, and we always want you to move pain-free. And of course, your doctor or physical therapist has the final word. All right, starting off with wrist pain, you're definitely going to want to stretch and roll out the forearms. And you can also use a pair of push-up handles or even dumbbells to keep your wrists straight in exercises. All right, next let's talk about elbow pain. You're definitely going to want to roll and stretch out the triceps and the forearms. In addition to that, play around with grip variations. Sometimes changing from pronated to supinated or changing from wide to narrow can really alleviate a lot of elbow pain. All right, on to shoulder pain. Now, just like I talked about before, you're going to want to look at the muscles in the surrounding area. So you might want to roll and stretch out the chest, the back of the shoulders, and even the lats. In addition to that, try pressing in a different direction. Sometimes just that simple adjustment can really help alleviate pain. All right, let's move down the body to lower back pain. Now, as I mentioned before, stretching the hips out might be a great idea. Many times the hips are tight and they can pull everything around them out of whack. What you also want to do is change the angle of certain exercises and maybe work things like lunges or split squats so that your back is in a more supported position as it recovers. All right, moving on to hip pain, you definitely want to roll out the quads and the glutes. And in addition to that, maybe play around with foot placement. You can change the width of your feet and even the orientation or the way they're facing. All right, for knee pain, you're going to want to roll and stretch out the quads just like we did for the hips. And just like I mentioned before, you might want to try exercises that put the knees at a different angle, things that are more hip dominant like the deadlifts and deadlift variations. And finally, ankle pain. You can try stretching and rolling out the feet and the calves. And if your ankle can take some weight, maybe do exercises like assisted split squats until the area fully heals. Well, there you have it. Plenty of ideas on how to adjust and handle your injuries so that you can keep your training moving forward. Hope this helps, and all the best with your recovery. If you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up. We definitely appreciate it. You can subscribe to our channel for more great content and hit that bell to be notified when we upload something new. If you want a bit more support and accountability with your training, check out Nerd Fitness Online Coaching, where coaches like myself help you adjust to any challenge and achieve your fitness goals. Link in the description below. Finally, you can subscribe to our email newsletter, which is chock full of great fitness tips and a lot of hilarious, nerdy jokes. I screwed that up. All right, moving down the lottie.